Well, today started as a beautiful Friday morning out at the State Fair of Texas. Then everything changed when somebody spotted smoke coming from Big Tex. We have a live look from Sky 4 over where Big Tex once stood, welcoming people to the fair near the Midway at Fair Park. Fox 4's Melissa Cutler joining us now with, gosh, Melissa, I was out there this morning. Quite a chaotic scene for a while. There's Big Tex leading in flames. What's going on right now?
Well, really, people are out here and they're laying flowers, a wreath to be exact, at the site where Big Tex stood for dozens of years. They're looking towards this empty space. They're filled with grief, overlooking, or losing rather, what amounted to a friend.
Big Tex was still greeting fairgoers with his famous "Howdy, folks" Texan drawl when an apparent electrical short in his neck caused him to catch fire.
Smoke started coming out from under his collar, and we were like, is that supposed to happen?
While fairgoers shot video on cell phones, the fire quickly engulfed his 52-foot frame.
And we kept watching and said he's not smoking cigar or a cigarette, and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then black smoke, and we said, uh-oh.
In minutes, the beloved smiling Texan was turned into a skeleton, a tangled mess of metal.
Black smoke started coming out, and then we started seeing the flames starting to pop out from his chest, around the edges of his face, and then his hat went up.
And then his pants.
Then out his boot, a flame popped out from his boot and started working his way up. And the whole thing just went up in black smoke and fire.
Bill Bragg is Big Tex's voice. He sits in a nearby trailer. They just cut the power to his mic when another worker suddenly burst through the door.
I watched a tradition come to an end.
Moment by moment, the surreal scene got worse. He burned for 45 minutes.
Up until just a few moments ago, for the first time in 11 years, I've been at a loss for words.
Disbelief. I mean, who would ever thought?
Soon only his outstretched arms and hands were visible. People began praying and moving back.
It's because you can start feeling the heat, and so everybody started backing up themselves just because of heat. And then you started seeing pieces of falling off.
No one was hurt.
At no point was I concerned that it might topple. I was more concerned with embers.
Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings came to pay his last respect, so to speak, and keep it in perspective.
I guess we all get old, and that's what happens with old age.
By afternoon, what was left of Big Tex was gently removed from his perch and laid to rest. But State Fair officials promise he'll be back to rise again.
And what they mean by that, specifically, Heather, is they say he will be bigger, he will be better, there will be improvements, he will be more animated, even described as more of a 21st century Big Tex, if you will. So that is where they are today. Emotionally, they say he will be back, just wait and see until next year. Heather.
All right, so we'll look forward to that. But meantime, we know there have been investigators on the scene really much of the day. Are they talking more about how the fire started?
They have unconfirmed reports, but a pretty good idea that what they think happened was this fire started in an electrical box near Big Tex's boots, and then all of that black smoke funneled through the framework. He's basically made of a metal skeleton covered with fabric, and it funneled through the body out towards the neck, which is why so many people reported seeing the fire in the neck area of Big Tex, and they're thinking that probably was a symptom of the fire, which is actually down by his boots, Heather.
Yeah, really incredible video that we're looking at that people shot. Melissa, thank you. And folks, at the fair yesterday, they helped Big Tex celebrate his 60th birthday with a huge Belgian waffle fried food family, the Zabels. They gave Tex the treat, topped with whipped cream and powdered sugar, and a 60 made out of strawberries. Big Tex even shared it with a whole lot of folks. And of course, now today, a lot of people are very sad about losing Big Tex. For now, anyway, Fox 4's Lynn Kawano spoke to a lot of people who watch Big Tex burn, and we want to go out there now and Lynn, find out what those folks are saying.
Yesterday and died today. It's fucking sad.
Again, we're looking at images of yesterday from Big Tex. And if you log on to our Facebook page or myfoxdfw.com, you can click on that as well. We've had so many people who have been sharing their photos with us and their images because there were a lot of people out there on this gorgeous Friday morning out enjoying the last weekend of the State Fair of Texas. Lynn Kawano is there now. And Lynn, I know you've got a chance to talk to a lot of people about their personal stories about what they saw. Heather, it is so hard for people to see this circle without Big Tex standing here. People say he was the staple of the state fair. You know, rides and exhibits come and go, so the food changes as well. But Big Tex was always here. This circle was the meeting place for families. They watched as heavy equipment dismantled the icon today. The pieces put on a flatbed, covered, then taken by a police escort to a warehouse just outside the fairgrounds. Many people recorded the entire process on cell phones, stunned that after 60 years, the face of the fair could be gone so quickly. Raquel Parra, who was visiting from San Marcos, was taking a picture of her family in front of Big Tex when the smoke started billowing out of his neck.
I guess we're lucky we got one of the last pictures of Tex.
I'm just being a kid and running up and seeing him and hearing him talk.
Every time somebody says, "What's your favorite thing every year?" I tell them it's watching Big Tex go up.
And Sue Gooding was the first one to put the bouquet of flowers. She works with the State Fair of Texas. She put it down here in the circle, and since then, many more people have done the same. They say the fair won't be the same without Big Tex, but this is the last weekend, so just a couple more days. And as Melissa Cutler said, Big Tex will be back next year. I'm Lynn Cuano, reporting live, Fox 4 News. Heather, back to you. All right, Lynn, thank you. That makes me sad seeing Big Tex go by like that. But all right, we got to remember he'll be back next year. The crews did help Big Tex stand tall for the last time on September 24th. They'd use a crane to hoist him into place while, of course, young kids, people young and old, watched. Then they dressed him in his traditional Dickie attire along with those huge cowboy boots.
He started out in 1952 here at the State Fair of Texas. We made quite a deal. R.L. Thornton purchased him for $750. We think that was a steal. And he's been here for the last 60 years.
That is a great deal. Time now for a makeover, though. Stay with Fox 4 as we remember Big Tex. Coming up at 5:30, a look at how Big Tex got his start at the State Fair. Texas